Wow, that's so nice.
Saw? That was great.
What?
The saw.
The saw and the hammering right outside the... Are you taking your lunch break yet?
It was quiet for y'all.
That wasn't happening for us. Hey, they're still doing the roof because it's the same day. So, sorry. I have no control over these things, and this is the only day I can do this filming. So... Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess, and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today we have my bonus mom, Ashley!
Hi.
It's her Disney debut.
Oh no.
It's her first time being on the channel because they haven't lived here forever, and now they live here again! Which means she gets to be in a Disney video. Yeah. That's so exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. That's great. Okay, so thanks for being here. Today we're going to talk about the Footloose Goose.
Yes.
The Footloose Goose is a 1975 television release about two geese, Duke and Duchess, and how they kind of fall in love, and Duke has to find his way home. It is directed by Hank Schloss, cinematography by Hank Schloss and Dave McMillan, editing by Gordon D. Brenner, music by Buddy Baker, and it's written by Homer McCoy. McCoy? I can speak. And it's based off a book by Mel Ellis. Couldn't find his summaries. I'm assuming one of those super short animal books like usual.
The narrator was Andrew Duggan, Brett Hadley played Tom, and Paul Preston was McKenna, and Judy Bement was Sarah. Well, I think it was really well done because it's really hard to direct animals. So those animals had to be trained, obviously. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of special shots and cutting and editing that had to be taken place to help put the whole story together. So I thought it was really well done. Loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
I think the cinematography was pretty good for one of these releases.
Yeah.
I've watched a million of these at
I mean,
this
it was
point.
1975.
Yeah. Television release. 1975 television
Which would have
release.
been the Sunday night Disney movies for my generation. Well, I was only 3, so your dad's generation.
Dad was in college in 75.
No. He was in high school.
You were in high school in 75?
He would have been 17. He'd been 17. Anywho.
Not his generation. He wasn't watching.
No. So, somewhere in between. But anyway, it was one of those movies that came out Sunday night that you, as a kid,
100%.
looked forward to watching. And I loved it. I loved those. So it took me back to that childhood memory.
Well, and I think it was pretty decent cinematography for the time.
Yeah.
Especially the one shot. It's the shot that you really like that took you back. Is
yes. Oh my
Duke
gosh.
flying. They flew along with him on the side. It was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for a 75 television release.
100%. And that actually happens with geese.
Yeah.
I know from experience.
Yeah.
So.
You really enjoyed this.
I really enjoyed the story. The acting was... I mean,
You can jump into acting, that's fine.
So, the storyline was great. The story was fantastic. It was, in fact, I mentioned this after watching it. It kind of was like that A-formula adventure story of an animal, kind of setting the tone or prequeling movies like Homeward Bound. Those adventures where there's so many different obstacles that they have to go through. So, I loved it.
Yeah, I didn't. It's another animal movie that is the same thing. We've watched 1,000 times at this point. So it was nothing new for me. So it wasn't exciting. It wasn't fun. It was just take the plot they do for all of these movies and put it with geese instead of whatever other animal.
Yeah. Well, if you're an animal lover, you're going to love this movie.
Easy. I love animals.
I know, but you're... Alright,
if you haven't watched a million of these movies that are the same thing over and over and over again, and this is your first one you're watching, and you have a history with a goose, you'll love this movie.
I have history with a goose.
She does have history with a goose.
In fact, that scene where he's following the truck back and he's flying at just the truck level, that happened to me with my horse, and my goose is following us back to the farm at that level, and I just started bawling because it was...
She did. She cried.
It was a memory of my childhood.
Yeah, I think the story is fine. It's lazy. It's the same thing as a bunch of the other animal ones. But it was cute. It was fun to watch Duke go through all of that trying to get back to Duchess. Very sweet.
It was
She was
high
stressed.
anxiety for me, yeah.
She had blankets up to here. And I'm sitting there like...
She's laughing at me. I'm crying.
This is a 47-minute movie. And she's like...
I was invested. I was all in. And I would do it again.
Yeah.
As long as they don't kill anyone.
As long as they don't kill him.
Well, humans I don't care about, but no animal deaths.
Dang.
That's just how I am.
I know. You've always been that way. Alright, what's your favorite part?
My favorite part was right after a climactic moment. And that was when they realized that Duke was no longer going to be able to fly.
Yeah, that was cool.
And so he had to literally walk
Or swim.
and swim. But he preferred mostly walking. But the realization that he wasn't going to be able to fly, A, scared me because I was worried about more threats. And then B, once he got back to Duchess, which we all knew he would, it would be like destined for him to forever be with her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. My favorite part was your reactions to this movie. But if I have to choose something from the movie, probably when they finally get reunited after he gets there and everything. But if it's not this movie related, her reactions were my favorite part. It made it way more entertaining for me. The best. Least favorite part?
Was it that animal?
Wolverine?
The Wolverine. I didn't like. Oh, and I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like the Wolverine.
My least favorite part was the blanket narration. That's the part of these movies that drive me crazy. Show and tell me in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, have you ever seen Benji? Or any Benji movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so Benji the Hunted was a Disney release. No other Benji movie was a Disney release. No narration in that movie whatsoever. And you understand everything that dog is doing and trying to do through how they filmed it, shot it, set everything up, edited it. And I feel like they could have accomplished that with the goose.
Do you think it would have been interesting if they'd given voice to the goose, to the animals?
I don't care. No.
Okay.
I mean, fine, just don't make the mouths move. But I don't think that's necessary. Like, if you're trying to tell a story, you can tell the story visually without any kind of narration. Because they've done it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what always kills me about these movies is they do this blanket narration that feels very documentary-esque. But
agree.
it's not a documentary because they're telling some kind of like fictional story.
I agree. And
so it drives me a little crazy.
I think there were it doesn't bother me as much though, I think because of the generation. Like that's
Totally.
how I came up.
Sure. Totally.
That was my Sunday night Disney movie before I had to go to bed. That's
100%.
how it was. So to me it's comforting.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, and I would agree with
And
you.
also, I've seen 400 kajillion of these at this point. Recommend?
Well, yeah.
No. Would you watch it again?
Yes.
No. I'm sure I'll watch the same movie with a different animal again soon. Specific moments. One of my favorite specific moments is when you said, "That is a trained raccoon. This would never happen during the day."
That's right.
I loved that because I was like, she is first, absolutely correct, and second, the fact that you know that because you
raised raccoons too.
raised raccoons. You had a lot of experience with animals.
Yes.
So that made me giggle.
Yeah.
And then another thing I need to talk about is these movies, a lot of them, always have a Wolverine encounter, and they always get away. Insane. Wolverine
not
is
have
like
happened.
taught to be one of the most insane,
Yeah.
absolutely horrific animals. No way do some of these animals get
No.
away from a Wolverine. A goose?
Would not
Getting
have
away
gotten
from a
away.
Wolverine?
He would
No
have been-
way, dude.
No. That's why I hated that. That was my worst thing because I'm like, oh my god. Knowing that he would survive, but I just didn't like the trauma.
Yeah, no. So I really just needed to point out, finally, that there's no way any of these animals would be getting away from a Wolverine. So that's crazy. The sexism? Ew.
Sexism?
Yeah, the boy said something about the girl not
girl.
being able to fish.
Fish, yeah.
'Cause
Hooking
that's
her on
not
the
a
hook.
girl
The
thing.
worm thing, yeah. And then he ended up,
Eating his words and liking her.
yeah. Because he didn't
classic.
he didn't think that a woman who liked fishing could be an attractive woman.
Yeah, or a woman would even know how to fish.
Yeah.
You cried and were so stressed. Very cute. And I didn't like it. That's all I have. Do you have any other specific moments you liked or want to point out?
I loved seeing the
why don't you
goslings.
tell your goose story.
Okay. So growing up in Wyoming, we were, my family was a sanctuary for wildlife and birds of prey. We raised 2 raccoons, we had hawks, owls, eagles. We even had a barn outside of town that housed the bald eagles for protection. We raised an owl from an owling, raccoons from no hair and eyes closed, and a lovely goose from a gosling that loved me and hated my sister. Bless her heart. That goose would fly just high enough to nip her on her bud, but he would be cool with me. And when we tried to release the goose out where we boarded our horse, every time I'd ride past the pond to check on the goose, seeing if he had taken off with the other geese, that when they would fly north or south, he would fly at my level or my horse's level back to the barn. So we ended up taking him down to the Denver Zoo where he lived out his life very peacefully and happily.
Very
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it was
It's
cool.
such a good story. I love
That's why I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
Personal connection. So I
Of
also
course.
understand why you didn't like it.
No, I totally understand why you love this movie and
Yeah.
First of all, it's you. Any animal movie, you're
True.
done. That's
True.
it. You're gonna love it.
As
You're
long
gonna
as they
think it's
don't
great.
kill the
As long as they don't
animal.
die.
I'm good.
And then I knew you had like the bird
Yeah.
history and the goose
Yeah.
history, so like I knew you'd. When you picked Footloose Goose, I was like, shocking.
I had no idea what it was going to
Shocking
be about.
she
I
picked
just
Footloose
thought
Goose.
Footloose, I like to dance in the goose, or maybe I thought it was going to be an animated goose movie. I had no idea what I was walking into, and I was so pleasantly surprised.
So sweet. Alrighty, what would you give it?
Well, I'm biased, so I'm going to... But the acting was not good
Okay.
with the humans. The training with the animals and the husbandry was fantastic. So that is why I give it like an 8.5.
8.5 geese. It's gotta be geese.
Yeah.
Out of 10? Yeah, mine's a 4. 4 geese out of 10.
That's okay.
It is okay. 100%. That's the beauty of having different opinions
That's right.
in the same family. Okay, so perfect. That's it. Our total movie count is
795. 795.
very exciting. Very exciting. Parent Death Toll and Cry Count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials. You find a movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday, but every day for the week of guests because it's celebration month. Do you want them to follow you on anything?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
great.
Okay.
Love that. Don't follow her
Don't.
anywhere. She's mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was so much fun.
Join Patreon. Buy merch. There's great merch again. There's probably a sale going on. I have no idea. I haven't decided because it's not August yet. But it'll be up there, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay.
That
Until
was
next
way too
time,
fun.
comment, like, and subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life, yours. So do you, and don't be the Wolverine about it.
Don't be a Wolverine about it.
For me. She didn't silence her phone. It's your first time. Robin! Tell her no.
So sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not like we don't have the worst sound possible happening during this. Watch.
Oh my gosh.